Good morning. Look at all the quiet. Listen to that. That's perfect. Welcome to the University Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. My name is Paula Despang. It's my privilege to be your service leader today. So, we'll get on with it. The first thing we get to do is hear from committee leaders who have messages for us. Any committees who have something to say?
Joey Cole for hospitality. We really need some volunteers to help with coffee in the morning. The directions are on the wall. That's really easy. I don't drink coffee and I can make it. So that'll give you some idea. At any rate, we really need volunteers. I think the sign-up sheet is out on the counter there. And also we are thinking about next month for thank you, Chloe's holding up the sign-up sheet. Just, put your name in for either before or after. It would be helpful if you could make coffee and then clean up after the service, but we'll figure out a way, But we are also looking for people next workday. I think it's the 21st of May. We really want to clean out that closet, the hospitality closet, that has a lot of other stuff in there. If we really want to get back to potlucks and so forth, we got to get organized in the kitchen. And I apologize because I haven't been here to help out very much, but we really do want to. We really do want to try to work on that next month during work day. So keep that in mind. Even if you don't normally come to work days, come help us clean up the kitchen and particularly that closet back there. Thank you.
Good morning, Kelly Buchanan here on behalf of the marketing committee. I just wanted to make just a brief, not a brief announcement, but a very important announcement. We're going to try to re-energize and reignite the marketing committee here at the church. And if you're interested in participating and joining the committee, please reach out. Our number one goal really is to really have a better footprint on reaching out in our community. That's our number one goal, is reaching out into the community, and how can we do that and do that better. That's maybe requires purchasing marketing equipment and tables to set up and things like that, right? So we can get out there, advertising in some local newspapers and really just enhancing our social media footprint as well. So if you're a good writer, if you're good in social media, if you have contacts with UCF, any of those things, please come and see us. I can add you to our committee. We'd appreciate it. My second message,
Changing hats here?
changing hats, is hospitality. So after service today, we will be celebrating with some wonderful food from Infusion Tea in College Park. They have provided some nice tea sandwiches, classic cucumber, egg salad, cream cheese, and we've got some wonderful scones, some blueberry, lemon scones, cranberry and chocolate scones, and we've got some bubbly. So stay afterwards for some sandwiches and some drinks. But if you do stay, very important, we ask that after service is over that you please exit these doors here and just have a holding pattern outside. Okay, so we can get everybody outside and going back through the lines. We do have tables set up outside for you to sit outside. Okay, all right, thank you very much.
Good morning, Reverend Tracie. On behalf of, us, I want to welcome our children back in the service. You may have noticed that it's getting a little noisier in here, and that's a good thing. Having our children in service helps them be more connected to the community, this community that they will hopefully grow up in and become a part of as adults, and it helps teach them how we worship. So it is very important, and we need to have a little grace as we hear some rumbling and some wiggling and all of that, but that's okay because that's energy and that's exciting. So we are also going to have our kids taking the offering today. So we are getting back to doing those things. And so I just want you to welcome our lovely children back into the worship service. and let them know how much they are appreciated here in this congregation. Thank you.
Is that everyone? I needed a helper for this, so I drafted this one. His name is Peter.
You are beloved, and you're welcome here.
Whether tears have fallen from your eyes this past week, or gleeful laughter has spilled out of your smiling mouth.
You are beloved, and you are welcome here.
Whether you are feeling brave or broken-hearted, defiant or defeated, fearsome or fearful.
You are beloved, and you are welcome here.
Whether you have untold stories buried deep inside, or stories that have been forced beyond the edge of comfort.
You are beloved, and you are welcome here.
Whether you have made promises, broken promises, or are renewing your promises.
You are beloved, and you are welcome here.
Whatever is on your heart, however it is with your soul in this moment.
You are beloved, and you are welcome here.
In this space of welcome and acceptance, commitment and recommitment, of covenant and connection, let us worship together. And we will have some opening music. Jason, what is his name? Jason Shelton. And invite our cyber audience. You can sing with this at home. Keep your mic muted.
Morning has come, arise and greet the day. Dance with joy and sing a song of gladness. The light of hope here shines upon each face. May it bring faith to guide our journey. Home.
Can you tell I like it? Our chalice lighter this morning is Ani, wherever this person is hiding. Ani is 5. And I don't have a lot of information except that she's going to light our candle for us. Have you done this before, Ani? First time, a beginner. We are all beginners the first time we do anything. Recite this with me. In the light of truth and the warmth of love, we gather to seek, to sustain, and to share. We are so pleased to have our children back with us. It just makes such a difference. And we affirm our relationship. This is what we aspire to. We're not perfect here, but we aspire to live this way. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its gift. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek truth in love, and to help one another. Okay, and I welcome our visitors today, both our visitors in cyberspace and the people who came here in the body. So good to have you. Come again anytime. We're here, our door is open, and we love to have new people and meet you. Feel free to stay after and join a celebration that we're having after this service. Yes, there will be coffee and tea and things to nibble on and conversations to share. This congregation shares our joys and concerns, and it helps us to know each other on varying levels. And I'd like to begin and be the first person to share a joy. If you can't walk up to the microphone, I will bring it to you without hesitation or complaint. But what I'd like to share is my joy in this. I don't know who provided it, how it got here, but I think it's beautiful, it's brand new, and it's perfect. Who has a clue where this came from? It's a secret. Okay. I can live with the suspense. I'm good with that. So,
good morning, everybody. I'm David McElroy. I have two and a half joys, somewhere in there. Two of my favorite people are back here in the church, is Sylvia Friedman and John McCormick. Marilyn, my wife Marilyn McGinnis, Firminick McGinnis, who's not been here, is her last day doing the Mad Cow production of Sea Rock City. She's excited about it being over, but sad as well. But she's going to be able to come back, so that's really nice. And I had 2 shows done last night in Sunrise, Florida, of a play that I wrote, and Marilyn and I are going down at the end of this week to see it again. It's going to be one more time. And I don't know if Chloe wants to say it, but she's in a new show at PRT coming up in June, aren't you? She doesn't know yet, but we're 99% sure. So, thank you.
At school, I have a field trip. Oh, wow. I'm going to Lucas Nursery.
Hi, I'm Roberta Lerman, and we had a wonderful meeting Friday night for the women's group. We're planning a special meeting probably toward the end of May. We haven't set a date or got our plans finalized. So again, I just wanted to let you know that all women are welcome, and we would hope to see you at the May meeting, and then we can decide at the May meeting whether you want to meet over the summer. Also, I guess I have some good news. I'm really sort of retired, but somebody asked me to illustrate their children's book. We're talking about 18 drawings. Since I love to do artwork, especially for others, I'm very happy.
Ann Packham. I have two joys. One is I got a chance to meet some of our newer members yesterday at an event, and it was fantastic, and the weather was gorgeous. So that was wonderful. And my other joy is that we're going to pick up the girls from Gainesville on Tuesday. Some, as you know, two of our girls went away to college, and it's been hard for me to adjust. So I'm looking forward to having them home.
Reverend Tracie, I just got back from a wonderful Florida UU Ministers gathering. First time in 2 years we've been able to gather in person up the way at Canterbury Retreat Center, and it was just amazing and what I needed to refill my spirit, and I'm excited and actually going to go do an individual retreat there during my vacation time. So, thank you.
Melanie Irie, our big news in our family is that our 16-year-old can now drive. No, that's an actual joy. He's getting the Volvo. He's going to be fine. The world's going to protect him, and he knows the Florida handbook, word for word. So, yeah. Yeah, no, this is an absolute joy, and I am personally looking forward to never having to do car line again.
Good morning. I'm Ethan's assistant, apparently. He got all of a sudden nervous, but he wanted to share a joy about going this afternoon to the Orlando City Lions, and because he plays on their soccer team, he and his buddy will be on the field at intermission. So he's very excited about that. Yay! Apparently he's excited that at some point, someday, we might go on a Disney cruise.
It's hard for me to picture Ethan being shy. Hi, I'm Chloe McElroy. I actually had a big joy that I got to work with about, I want to say 15 high schoolers doing a production called #Enough. It was 8 different shows written by high school teenagers all across the nation, and all performed on the same day about how to end gun violence. And it was just a really rewarding experience. It actually took place on April 20th, which is the anniversary of Columbine. But they do it every year, so if you see it come up next year, it was a free event, and I think it's a really rewarding experience to hear words from teenagers across the nation written about how they're dealing with the fact that they have to do gun violence drills and figure out if they can fit into a cabinet, and figure out if they're going to be the one that, stands in front of a friend to guard them from a shooter. It's heavy, and these kids are going through it on a daily basis. So I think it was a rewarding experience to be part of that and to continue the conversation.
Good morning. It's such a joy being with you today. I've been here before. I know Martha Kirby, I don't know whether she's in. I'm a part of the Interfaith Council of Central Florida, and we are often together. Most recently it was electronically, that's it, virtually, and you know why. But my personal thought today, it so resonates with our belief. I'm a Sikh from, if you know that, love and service. That's all there is to it. That's all what the religion is. That's what Sikhism believes. God dwells in love. It's His love that manifests all around us in its diversity. And to love God is to love His creation. My joy is that my wife and my daughter, driven by this love and compassion, they went to Poland and Ukraine. And they stayed there for 3 weeks, helping out the refugees at the Polish border. Then they were not content. Then they went inside Ukraine, visited 3 cities, Lviv, Lutsk, and Rivne, helping out people, took tons of food and medicines, went to hospitals, and they came back safely. Little bit not well, because it was a bitter cold over there. It's frigid cold. And Sikh, or United Sikhs is one of our humanitarian organization, global, and they had set up a tent about 80 feet by 30 feet and heated 24/7. So refugees who could come through, they could stay for a little while, also provide hot food. The tyranny is that the long lines, people had to wait in line day and night for 15 hours at the border to cross first from Ukrainian side, then to the Polish side. In between there was a quarter mile of no man's land, and they were standing in lines for 15 hours to get through, to get some help. And they were, my wife and my daughter, they were there to receive them with open arms, help them out. I was encouraged by all of you who came up and shared their joys. And I got encouraged to stand up and share with you. It was a great pleasure meeting all of you today. Thank you. God bless you.
Barry, London. At 2 o'clock today, there will be a celebration of life for Lynn Schmidt, and it'll be at the Maitland Civic Center, 2 o'clock, for those who may wish to attend. Thank you.
Are there any messages from online that have been texted into here? 2 people are checking for me. I'm getting no's. Let's take a moment of silence for these joys shared and multiplied, in these concerns shared, and the burden of them lightened. Amen. And welcome our time for all ages. We have Marilyn London, and she'll be assisted by the Khan family.
Well, Marissa Khan.
Oh, Marissa Khan. Okay, Marissa. And here's the script up here, and I will get out of the way.
I'm going to recommend that one of you take that mic and one take this mic. Give that to Marilyn.
I walked one summer morning under a watercolored sky when I beheld a full and lovely tree. I ate from her bough the date she offered me, and to my surprise, she spoke to me.
Would you like to hear the story of how I came to be? I was a seed full of promise, but I would take some 80 years to grow. So I needed a dreamer to plant and to risk, a dreamer who believed it could be so. Now the dreamer must have known that it was doubtful that I bear fruit before the dreamer died. But great love for the dream seed made it worth it anyway. Others after me will know the reason why.
Yes, I've always known that we must live by the love of what we may never see. Yes. I listened as I sat in her wisdom and her shade. I sensed that there was more of her to tell. I nestled closer still, for our talk had made us friends, and I begged of her, please tell me more, for your story is beginning to echo in my soul.
The dreamer gathered me in hand and blessed me, then placed me in the earth where I could grow. And each day I was watered with tears and laughter too, protected when the icy winds would blow. And now the seasons came and went while I grew stronger. And before too long, my dates would be ready. But the dreamer who had planted died before my dates were ripe. So the feast I gave, the dreamer did not see.
Yes, I've always known that we must live by the love of what we may never see. Yes. The tears I now was crying fell gently at her knees. I ate her dates. They fed my hungry soul. She said,
You now enjoy the fruit of the dreamer's love for me.
And her gift was truth. Now my heart could see that there's a dreamer and a planter and a seed inside of me. So I will plant a seed full of promise, for I believe that dream seeds live to grow. And I will gather all the dreamers who will plant and who will risk, and together we will live the truth we know. Yes, I've always known that we must live by the love of what we may never see.
Yes,
I've always known that we must live by the love of what we may never see. Yes, I've always known that we must live by the love of what we may never see. Yes, I've always known that we must live by the love of what we may never see.
Thank you so much. Now, we have a new song with which to, oh yeah, we have kids to do our offering. Where are they?
You know, they're all hanging out in the living room, but look, I got a new.
Okay. There's another one coming up behind you. Okay. See, we're a generous church, which is evident, will be even more evident later this morning. And so we share. And when we put something in the basket this way, we take some out, and the Social Action Committee is taking it in what direction right now?
We have all these new children who have never done this before and have never experienced this before.
Well, you need one on the other side of the room.
Yeah, we do. Where's the other basket? No, wait. Okay, so now you hand it off. You walk this way, then you come this way. And when it comes right this way, when it comes down here, then you next basket and hand it. It's a learning experience.
It's a learning experience today. I was right when I said the first time you do something, you're a beginner at it. I wasn't just whistling Dixie.
Kind of exciting. We have all these youngins that joined us when we were not present in the building. So they have not learned all these new skills and things that they learned by being present. It's all exciting. Thank you very much. Thank you, friends.
Thank you. And then there's this new song, but I don't know this tune and these words yet.
No, we don't have a slide yet.
We don't have a slide for it.
So if I give you the words, do you think you can sing it? Oh, sorry, even better. I'm sorry, I'll get out of the way. They're not doing the same much.
I didn't get that memo. now I'm going to turn this over to Reverend Tracie Barrett, our very own. We claim her. We got her. She's going to be ably assisted by Sarah.
Yes. I first heard our reading from the Time for All Ages about 5 or 6 years ago during a minister gathering, and it has stuck with me ever since, which is why I've said regularly, we are planting seeds for trees we may never see. You, me, all of us. Everything we do has the potential of being part of our legacy. Individual legacies as well as those we create by coming together in the community. We've shared a lot of dreams together in this short time. And before me, you as a community shared dreams and planted seeds. This fellowship in this location, on these grounds, in this building, came about by our founding members planting seeds. 2 weeks ago, as we welcomed new members, that was growth of those seeds. Next week at the RE service, we will see the growth of those seeds as we bridge and launch some of our youth. Every time we gather together, in all our various and multi-platform ways, we gather, we plant seeds. The last few years has been difficult for everyone, not just us here in this congregation, and we're not out of the woods yet. What has kept us together is simply that. We've come together in both the good times and the bad to get work done. Sometimes we've just come together to be together. And that is also really important. Sometimes we just need to sit together and listen to one another, to hear the joys, hear the concerns, and above all that, we simply need to come together and get to know one another, to find those connections, those places where we are alike and varied, those ties that bind us one to another. In the hardest times, it is those connections that hold us together. Now remember last month, we had that web of yarn connecting all of us here in the room and those online. And that web reminds us that we are connected and that we can easily stretch and share and include even more people into our web of connections. How do we do that? Well, we do that by getting to know one another. Truly get to know one another. Our hopes, our fears, our wishes, our dreams. Sometimes it's the things that don't seem that important, like finding out that someone shares your hobby or grew up in the same city or likes the same food. And sometimes it's the big things, like finding out that someone else understands your struggles because they've traveled that path before you. Many of you have known each other for a while. Others are newer to our congregation. And after 2 years of a pandemic means we may not even know each other like we once thought we did. So let us get to know one another again and form and reform those connections. And I'm going to turn this over to Sarah for a moment.
It's time to have a little fun together. How well do you really know the people in this room? So, we're going to have a series of 6 questions, and Carl and Melissa, help you pass them out. Patrick, would you go on to the next slide? So the challenge is for you to guess how many people in this room will answer yes to the questions. For instance, one of the questions is, how many people in this room know how to ride a motorcycle? All right? So a sheet is going around. There are roughly 40 people in the room. So you're going to take 2 minutes and guess how many people are going to answer yes to each of those questions. And go ahead and write it down. And then we're going to do a count of each question and we'll score ourselves. Remember, this is for fun. Patrick, would you go on to the next slide? Here are the questions as well up on the screen. Okay, so it's okay if you don't have all of your guesses, but we're going to go ahead and get started. So, what I'm going to do is read the question and ask if you say yes to this, then please go ahead and stand up. Now, or raise your hand. We don't have any plans to out anyone. If you don't want anybody to know that you know how to ride a motorcycle, no problem. Stay in your seat. That's right. And if you know that the person next to you knows how to ride a motorcycle and they don't raise their hand or stand up, don't say anything. Like, okay? This is, this is about fun if people want to do that. So, we still need a few more minutes. So the dun, bum, bum. All right. We're going to go ahead and start with question 1. And what I'd like you to do is when we do the count, write down the actual number next to yours because that'll help you figure out what your score is. So, how many people have lived in another country for more than 3 months? Reverend Tracie, would you help me count? Yep. Stand up makes it easier to count. 17. All right. Question number 2. How many people baked sourdough bread during the pandemic? Now, this doesn't mean you successfully baked sourdough bread, but if you tried, go ahead and stand up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, question number 3. How many people have a tattoo or have seriously considered getting one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. Yep, they're doing it in their Zoom room. They're doing the same activity.
Do you think they're more
Yes. All right, how many people can confidently answer which year our congregation was founded? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 people. The answer, 1993. 12 people. All right. How many people have been vegan for more than a month? At some point. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 15. All right. And the last one, how many people know how to ride a motorcycle? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11. 12. All right, 12. Okay. Patrick, would you go on to the next? So now we're going to score ourselves. Now, I encourage you, don't get too hung up on the scoring. This is about fun. Okay? So, if you guessed exactly right, give yourself 2 points for that answer. And if you got close, within 2, then you can give yourself a point. So, for instance, for 7 people answered yes, then if Amy guessed 7, she'd get 2 points. If Barry guessed 5, he would get 1. Carlos would get 1 as well because he guessed 2 over. But Danny guessed 10. That's outside of the range. Danny gets no points. So give yourself 1 or 2 or 0 points for your answers. And I'll give you a moment to score. Yeah, you got to be accurate to get points around here. Okay. How many people scored at least 2 points? Raise your hand. Yes! People know each other good. How many people scored 4 points? 3 or 4 points? Okay. How many people scored up to 6 points? Wow, we have a good guesser. Excellent. All right. I hope you learned something about your neighbor. Had a good time.
All right. Many, many years ago, when I was in youth group as a young adult, my youth pastor preached a few messages that have stuck with me since then. And we won't say how many years ago that was. But one of these messages was about growth. My youth pastor had worked as a gardener before he became a youth pastor, and one week he told us about one of the hard lessons he had during that job. It was the end of the season for crepe myrtles. I think that was the plant he was talking about. Our gardeners here can correct me later. Gently, please. And his job was to trim the tree back down to prepare it for the next year. And we all assumed that that just meant trimming some dead branches and leaving it be. But this is what stuck with me. He said that with these trees, you had to trim it back to the point that it looked ugly, that it looked like you had killed it in order for it to grow bigger the next year. Pruning is a big part of growth. It's the part we don't like to talk about because it's painful. In his message to a bunch of high school and college kids, the point was that in order to grow, we may have to let go of people or beliefs that were holding us back. Now, growth is hard and sometimes painful. Why do I bring this up today? Because in this dreaming and planting time that we find ourselves in, we need to prepare ourselves for the very real possibility that growth brings change, and change is sometimes painful, sometimes uncomfortable. Those dreams y'all wrote down that are in the hallway on the heart tree, some of these are really powerful, and they're going to shake things up for all the best reasons. And that may hurt. It'll mean we'll have to do things differently. It'll mean we may have to figure out how to fit more people in here. It'll mean we may have to change how we look at things when it comes to how we do church. I guarantee you, there will be times that this will be uncomfortable. But in that bit of uncomfortableness, there will be stronger growth if we can push through. After all, haven't we all had a time when we thought one way and then experienced something and it was new and it changed our mind? And I'm not talking about the big things around our core values, although I know that some of those are in my history and they may be in yours. But what about the small things? For example, growing up, I hated milk. Put it out there, hated it. I'd grab a chocolate milk at school just to be able to choke it down as quick as I could, and I had to drink it every day at home for those growing bones. And I had to pour it in a glass, no plastic cups, had to drink it when it was ice cold just out of the fridge, and drank it all in one go, quickly followed by a cup of water to get the gross milk taste out of my mouth. Hated it. Then I got older, and I went to someone's house, and they gave me milk with some decadent cake we were having. And lo and behold, the milk was amazing. And I couldn't figure out why until I looked at the jug. You see, it was whole milk. And I grew up on 1% milk, which is decidedly not the same as whole milk. My whole world changed. Milk is amazing. What other things might we need to try out and possibly change as we follow our dreams? And I encourage you when those times come, and they will, regardless of what the stance is, that you embrace the posture of curiosity and wonder. Who knows? Maybe you'll find a new thing to love.
So now for our second activity of the day, as a chance to get to know each other, the question we're going to ask you: what is something that you thought you knew, but later found out that you were wrong about? So this doesn't have to be deep or intensely personal. Some examples might be, I thought that the only career for a major of American history was either a school teacher or university academic. but then I learned that many research companies and marketing companies love to hire history majors because they can analyze a wide variety of materials and know how to write a convincing analysis. So that's, that's something that somebody learned. But another one could be, I used to think that the word unique was pronounced unique. Or, I used to think that tuna fish was delicious, but then I got food poisoning and now I know that it's not. My son likes to say regarding the milk example that the only thing that he hates worse than skim milk is lying, because skim milk is lying about being milk. So I'd like you to take just a little moment and think about, for you, what's something that you thought you knew but then later found out you were wrong about? And now I'm going to ask you to turn to the person or the people behind you or in front of you and just take a moment and share some of the things that came to your mind. We may ask for a couple of examples afterwards, but again, nobody's going to be outed. You don't have to say anything that doesn't. But go ahead, let's take a few minutes and just share your thoughts. All right, go ahead and finish up 1 more minute. All right, we're going to go ahead and finish up now. All right. Patrick is the best sound guy I've ever had.
Yes. Amen.
All right, we're going to let 2 or 3 people comment about something that they thought they knew, but then later found out they were wrong about. Anybody want to share?
When I was very young and just learning how to read, I thought the signs that said no, traffic signs that said no turn on red actually said no train on road. And it meant trains weren't allowed on the road, and I thought that made a lot of sense at the time.
Yeah, I thought that alcohol cooks out of food when you boil it or bake it or saute it, and it does not, actually.
Not all of it. Cook fast.
When I came to this country in 1978 in Michigan, so my husband picked me up, and then those windows were up on a highway. So I told him, I said, put the windows down because I can't breathe. He said, the vent is running, AC is on. I said, no, but I can't breathe. He said, you're breathing fine. So.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
I hope
you.
you learned something fun about your neighbors, fun about our congregation.
So the past month or so, we've talked to you a lot about planting seeds. Planting seeds by pledging for the growth of this congregation this next year and into the future. Planting seeds by deepening our covenants with to one another and the wider UU world. Planting seeds by dreaming big on what we can accomplish together. And as we heard during our Time for All Ages, we must live by the love we may never see. That's what we do each year during the pledge drive. Sure, it may look like it's just about the yearly budget and keeping everything humming along, but it's not actually. It's more than that. So much more than that. Every pledge, every dollar in the basket, every direct electronic donation, they are seeds we are planting into the future. Our founding members planted seeds that some of them are not here to see. Another 30 years from now, there will be new growth that both them and us may never see. And another 30 years after that, the dreams we have now, the dreams we fund now, may not come to fruition until much later. And that's okay. Some great things take time to grow, but they can't grow at all unless those seeds are planted. And so later during our celebration, you will find on the table with the food these little packets of seeds that say come together and UF on here. They're wildflower seeds. So I encourage you to take a packet home. Those of you online, if you want to send me an email at minister@universityus.org, I will get seeds to you. So I do not feel you are left out. I will get them to you one way or another. But take these seeds. Hold them as the dreams and wishes of this congregation, and then go forth. Plant those seeds we have dreamed up together. Water them with your laughter and your tears. Tend to them with your time, talent, and treasure. And may we all live by the love we may never see. And if you have not pledged, you still have time to go on the website and pledge. Or see Sarah. Let's hope this is the last pledge sermon. You can make that happen. Amen. Blessed be, and may it be so.
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth. We have some closing music. Standing on Shoulders. I know about that one.
ones who came before me. I am stronger for their courage. I am wiser for their words. I am lifted by their longing for a fair and brighter future. I am grateful for their presence, for their toiling on this earth. We are standing on the shoulders of the ones who came before us. They are saints and they are humans. They are angels, they are friends. We can see beyond the struggles and the troubles and the challenge when we know that by our efforts things will be better in the end. They lift me higher than I could ever fly, carrying my burdens away. I imagine our world if they hadn't tried. Wouldn't be here celebrating today. I am standing on the shoulders of the ones who came before me. I am honored for their passion, for our liberty. I will stand a little taller. I will work a little longer, and then my shoulders will be there to hold the ones who follow me. They lift me higher than I could ever fly, carrying my burdens away. I imagine our world if they hadn't tried. I'd not be here celebrating today. I am standing on the shoulders of the ones who came before me. I am honored by their passion for our liberty. I will stand a little taller. I will work a little longer, and my shoulders will be there to hold the ones who follow me. Ah, my shoulders will be there to hold the ones who follow
I like to too. My closing words as we prepare to go out and celebrate come from A.A. Milne. What day is it? Asked Pooh. It's today, squeaked Piglet. My favorite day, said Pooh.
So I just want to let people know that we are today celebrating the end of the pledge drive, but it isn't fully the end. It's just our day to celebrate and say thank you to people who have pledged. If you haven't managed to pledge yet, we would still absolutely welcome it. You can fill out the form online, you can send an email, you can talk to me in person, you can text me. Any way you want to get the information to us is totally fine. But we are very grateful to everybody who has already done that. And today's celebration is for all of us. We're making the effort to support this congregation, to come together, and to plant the seeds. So we're going to go ahead and recess to the Memorial Garden. Please pick up your seeds as you come through the line once the food is ready. Kelly will let us know when it's time. So thank you again, everybody.